All right, welcome to the HiddenTrack's podcast. My name's Shane Murphy, your host as always for this podcast. You can find us on Google Podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you find podcasts, you can find us. Please like, subscribe, 5 stars, write a little review. If there's something that you want to hear that you're not hearing, let us know. You can find us on myhiddentracks.com is our website. If you want to reach us, you can reach us at myhiddentracks99 at Gmail. HiddenTracks99 at Instagram, and at MyHiddenTracks1 for Twitter. We're also on Facebook under Hidden Tracks. Today, I'm delighted to have Jake Jones from the band Rough Dreams out of Knoxville, Tennessee. I guess we'll call them an indie pop punk band. Again, I don't like to label things. I don't like to put labels on it. Music is music, and whatever the fuck genre you want to throw it under, go ahead and do that, but just listen to the fucking music and enjoy it for what it is. So,
I like that.
Without further ado, Jake, welcome to the podcast, man.
Hey, how's it going?
All right, brother. So let's get into it. Your
All
band
right.
name, Rough Dreams. And so what's it all about? How do you come about? How did this all start?
Let's see. Me and our drummer Paul, we were in an older band quite some years ago, and we had rented a rehearsal space, and we're getting ready for a reunion show with that band. And while we were doing that, he was in another band touring a lot, and I was in another band touring a lot, and we just realized how much we enjoyed playing together, working on that reunion show, and decided to just start writing some stuff together. And we tried out a few people, and eventually it turned into a band, and then we put out a record, and then we hit the road, and pretty much did that for a solid year until COVID took that away from everybody.
The big C. The big
C. Yeah. Fuck that guy.
Yeah. So when it came to it, and coming together and putting out songs and new music, and you just hit the ground running, did you have your songs in mind and then go out on tour, or did you have your EP and went to tour based on that, or were you still working on it while you were going out playing live shows?
Well, Paul and I wrote a couple of songs together right off the bat that I'd never played with anyone before. I just had them. I just been sitting on them, and when we actually solidified a lineup, I had already had an EP's worth of songs recorded for a band that I was in a few years ago that ended up breaking up before the album came out. So I was like, do you guys want to play these songs? And everybody was down to add those into the set. And then we actually took that recording and added the new guitar player's guitar parts to that, and then changed up some vocals and stuff. So we pretty much already had an EP ready to go. We just added the new members to it, and the bass player tracked his own bass parts over the pre-existing ones that were there. And so, yeah, it was pretty much just ready to go right off the bat.
Awesome. So let's dive into you as a person when it comes to music. When did music change for you? When did music become something in your life other than cartoon theme songs and Sesame Street and Barney sing-alongs? Like, do you remember a moment like when something changed, or your parents give you something, or did you remember hearing something that just like changed your way of thinking about music when you were younger?
Yeah, kind of. I didn't play any instruments or anything, but I was one of those skateboarding kids that found punk rock in high school, and some of my skateboarding buddies did play music, and they'd started a band, and they had like a show booked the following weekend, and they told me they were talking about it, and they were like, "We don't have a singer. What are we going to do?" And I'd never even thought about it ever, and I was just like, "Hell, I'll do it. That sounds fun." And I guess playing that show and just randomly falling into it. I mean, that that's all I've ever done ever since. Like, I was 15 when I did that, and I'm in my 30s now, and I just never stopped. I don't think I've gone 6 months without playing a show since then, unless you count this current time.
Yeah, this time doesn't count.
What happened.
We're in a time.
Yeah, this doesn't count. We're not going to talk about this year.
What were you listening to back then? I mean, you had your punk rock phase back then, and you're still in your punk rock phase because you're in a pretty punk band. So
Yeah, I never outgrew
what was it that yeah what led you to it? Like, besides your skater friends, what kept you there? What kind of, bands were you listening to that kept you there?
Well, when I got into my punk phase, so to speak, I mean, Green Day, Rancid, and Offspring all took off and blew up when I was in like elementary school. So I liked those bands already, and it wasn't until like the end of middle school and going into high school that I actually figured out what that music was, and then I started, reading liner notes from CDs that I would buy, and I would see other bands that they would thank, and I would go and try my best to find those CDs, and that's how I found out about like No Effects and Pennywise and all those skate punk bands from the '90s, and I liked a lot of that stuff. And then I discovered the old school stuff. I got a Minor Threat and let's see, Circle Jerks and stuff like that, and I don't know. I just kind of dove right in it and just absorbed everything I could. And
yeah, you took the time to find the better stuff out there, and
oh yeah,
like give Green Day their due. The Offspring, it's very funny. I don't care if I shit on them. They're literally probably my least favorite band of all time.
I can still listen to Smash. I can still listen to Smash from start to finish. That album rips.
Yeah, and people love it, and I don't know what it is about it. I just never got into it. And I was a punk kid, and like everything that came out on Lookout Records, I had. Like, I love Lookout. And it was Lookout, it was Fat Records, it was, when I was growing up, that's what I had. And Epitaph had just started with Bad Religion, and so I was going after that stuff too. But I was realizing that all the stuff that had hit was like, Green Day was great. Kerplunk is still, to me, one of my quintessential albums of getting into music.
I've got that on vinyl. I love that record.
Yeah, me too. And I'm just like, it started to pop up everywhere. And I was just like, man, if you guys only knew who you're listening to Green Day Dookie, yeah, like it's good, but dude, there's other bands out there. Like, and that you did that dive is awesome. Like, you're looking in the liner notes where nobody does that really. There's not a lot of people that do that.
I got super just sucked in, man. Just anything that came out on Fat Records or Epitaph, I pretty much bought. As soon as I got, any money on me, I would go and buy it.
Yeah, I think that's what we're missing today too, is like having that record label that you can count on. What you're buying from that record label, you're going to love. Like it was, for me, like Lookout, like one of my favorite bands off of Lookout was 15. 15 is one of my favorite bands. And they were just fucking dynamite, but I never would have found them if I didn't go off of the record label and be like, well, right. On this record label, it got to be good, How do you find it nowadays? Yeah, Crimpshine, amazing as well. How do you find it nowadays with, there's 4,122,000 record labels out there for people to do stuff? I mean, how do you navigate that, right now for yourself as a band and being, pretty much doing a lot of stuff by yourself? What's that like?
As far as like discovering new music or putting stuff out?
Yeah, discovering new music and putting stuff out.
Honestly, I think the best $10 a month I spend is on Spotify Premium. I mean, I'll check out just about anything that pops up in my artists you may like or daily playlists or whatever. I'll check all that out. And, some of the stuff I hear will really strike a chord with me and actually turn into something that I become a fan of. And a lot of it kind of goes in one ear and out the other. There are countless bands out there that, are doing a lot of the same thing. And
they write the same song essentially.
Yeah. And it's like, there are, as far as punk rock bands go, like these days, there are a lot that I love. I love the ones I've always liked, especially the ones that still put out music. But I've kind of like started really listening to some other types of music as far as new stuff, because the punk rock stuff is just not as, I don't know, I'm not hearing like a brand new band come out of nowhere that's like really, really, really inspiring me like it did, which probably just means I'm getting older.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's a big thing when it comes to music. We talk about it a lot here. Is you grow up and you still love the stuff you listen to. Your ear matured a little bit, and
yeah.
you're finding other ways to listen to music. And that's I guess when punk rock went acoustic, it was because the guys who were writing those punk rock songs got older and they matured, and they would prefer to sit down with Tony Sly, Joey Cape, and Snodgrass. I mean, they all went that that more acoustic, Americana driven type of music,
And
and
I love
that's
a lot
you
of
get
that stuff.
older, and yeah, it's awesome. I love it too. I can't get enough of it, and it's like, well, yeah, it's because I'm getting older, and it's hard for me to find punk rock that's going to make me get up and be like, all right, I got to go get this record. I can't wait till they go on tour and see him,
Yeah.
But your EP did that. So I appreciate
Oh,
for what you've done.
thank you.
So when you're writing your songs and you've been in bands for a while now, it's quite half your
Yeah.
life.
I'd say probably over half my life now. Yeah. I mean, over half my life for sure.
So how'd you learn how to write? Like, how'd you just figure it out and tap into it and do it? If you just jumped up and said, I want to sing for somebody and never do it before, and how'd you get to here?
I just started picking up the guitar player's guitar, after practice, and like my buddy showed me a power chord, and that was it. That's all I needed. As soon as I figured out how to hold that chord, I just started learning your basic foundation of all the punk songs that I loved, which is just 4 chords. All that you could play any song that way. At least a dumbed down punk rock version. So I started doing that immediately as soon as I was able to hold the power chord, and then I started writing songs for that band. Like it's right off the bat. Just they sucked, but I figured out well, here's something that's on my teenage mind. I might as well write about it, and tried to make it rhyme, and over time, just I guess got a little better at it, I suppose.
Yeah, well, I guess that's how punk always starts. I mean, it's teenage angst, right? I mean, that's what it was.
For sure.
That was what you were going through at the time, and it's just like, I got to get this off my chest and make me feel better, even though you didn't know what you were even talking about probably at that time. I mean, I sure as hell know I didn't. When I look back and I'm like, yeah, I was fucking 16 and fuck that, and like, man, what was I thinking?
Exactly.
So did you find it that it came easier as it got on, or what's your process now to write a song? Like, I mean, you're older, so you're more mature, and you probably want to sit back and you want to sculpt things a little better. What's your process like now when writing songs?
A lot of times, like I have a job where I pretty much just sit in a room and I'm paid just to sit there, basically. So I literally just think in my head and just come up with melodies and whatnot, like just any kind of melody that pops in my head. I'll sit there and hum it, and if by the time I get home from work, if I can't remember that melody, then it wasn't worth writing down in the first place. So I'll usually just come home from work after having something stuck in my head all day, and I'll sit on my guitar as soon as I get home and just write it out immediately so I don't forget it, and then I just go from there. I'll build on it. Usually a chorus will be the first thing that will pop into my head, and I'll just lay that down, and then I'll spend however long, like whether some songs will pour out in like 10, 15 minutes and like write themselves, and then some take, there's a couple that took a couple years to finally get the final verse, but I just am constantly, I'll just literally sit at work and just think about it all day long in my head. And by the time I get home, if it's still in my head, then I'll write it down. That's pretty much how it goes. I don't think I even write lyrics down though, unless somebody needs to know them.
So do you take any input? Are you the sole creator, or do you, put it in front of the other guys and be like, hey, here's what I came up with. What are we doing with this?
We all kind of contribute. Chris, our other guitarist, is he wrote a few songs that are coming out for the new album, and they're awesome. They're probably my favorite on there just because he sings them. And but so yeah, I mean, if I have an entire song written, I'll bring it, to practice and be like, hey guys, check out this song. What do you think? And I'm not going to present something that that I don't think is good right off the bat anyway. So we usually end up making it into something, and everybody will put their 2 cents in and learn parts, and we'll do all that together. But then there's some songs where one of us just kind of has a little riff that just kind of start playing, and then if one of us likes that and likes how it sounds, we'll just start building on it right then and there at practice. And I think we've got a couple songs on the new record that are coming out that way too. I usually, if we write a song together, usually the first thing I do when I get home is write the lyrics for it, and just I'll sit down and just hatch it out. And but yeah, I mean, we don't necessarily have like a here's the songs I wrote, let's do it. It's not like that at all. We all just kind of do it together, and it works out really well. Like, I don't think we've ever had any kind of creative argument. Like, everyone's so laid back and good at what they do. And yeah, so it works out.
So did you start for the new album? Did you start during the big lockdown, or what? Did you start before and shit just got crazy and you had to stop, or did it start during lockdown that year?
We had the whole thing written, and we landed a deal with a label based out of Atlanta like a handful of months beforehand, and so we had written the record, and we were literally in Chris's basement demoing the songs the night that they were like, yeah, tomorrow you can't leave your house. So like we had finished the demo, I'm not kidding, like that day, like the last day before they're like, everybody go home, world's over, blah, blah, blah. And so we had the demos, and then we just sat on them until things started to open up. And then we went and recorded the album and everything at the studio in Atlanta after things were, opened up in this little purgatory time period we've all been in for the past several months.
Yeah. You had a nice little vacuum of an opening to record, and now we're getting back to bullshit. But
yeah. Yeah. It's enough to make anyone just angry.
Yeah. So did you have a tour planned or anything too at the time before lockdown, or was your main focus on getting a new album recorded and then worrying about striking some dates after that to go on tour?
Well, the plan was the day after we finished tracking the demos to send to the engineer, our plan was to be in the studio the next month. Like, that was back in March. So our plan was to be in the studio in April and work on the record as long as it took to get it done. And then as soon as we finished tracking it, we were just going to get back out on the road and do what we do as always, and then wait for the album to come out. And then when the album was ready to be released, we were just going to move on, just move on forward with it. But I don't think we even got into the studio until like the middle of the summer. So yeah, all plans were just totally put on hold, just like everybody else's.
Yeah. So when is the album gonna drop?
Well, I'm not sure. While we were recording it, we tracked 12 songs, and I think we're probably going to narrow it down to 10 for the album and have a couple B-sides left for something later. But as we were doing that, our label thought it would be a good idea. And I haven't really mentioned this. We haven't really mentioned this publicly, so I guess this will be the first place. Our label was like, hey, since we're going to put this album out and you're not going to be able to get out there and tour and sell the thing, while you're recording, why don't you guys record like a covers EP that we could put out in the middle of all this bullshit, so you can actually get some new music out there. And you don't have to really get out and tour on it. It's just new content for you guys. And then when things start looking like it might get a little bit more realistic to be able to actually get out on the road and do this thing right, well, then we'll drop the record. So we recorded 5 cover songs that's going to come out here in the next couple months. And like all the songs that we did for the covers EP are songs from the year 2000 to 2003, which is basically a vintage era now because that's 2 decades ago. So
yeah, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it really is crazy. So that will be the next thing that comes out like real soon, like next month, pretty much. At least the first single off of it. So we're gonna drop that simply because we're not able to get out on the road. You know, we do way better on the road selling merchandise and records and stuff like that than we do online. We're just, I don't know, for some reason we do better in real life.
Well, yeah, I mean, because it makes people feel a part of it. You know, you're at a show, you're part of that. It's just like, you know, nobody wants to, you know, really buy that $90 shirt at a football game, but you bought it because you remember you were at the football game, you know, and you could buy it you go to TJ Maxx or Marshalls or whatever and get it next week for $15, but you know, you feel part of it, and it makes you, and it also makes you a part of the band. I think some people get that essence too. Like, you know, I'm really supporting them. I'm here. And you know, if you're at your merch table selling it, they're like, you know, they saw me buy it, so they know I'm really with them. So it gives people a sense of ownership over your music too, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So if that's coming out in a couple months and you're going to, I mean, God, I wish I had a fucking crystal ball to say when we were going to open up and have live music again. I miss it so much. I'm sure you do, performing live as well.
Yeah,
I mean, what's it been like for you?
This is literally the longest I've gone without being on the road, like literally since I finished college, you know, like, so like it's been a long time that I've gone more than say a month or 2 without performing. Like it's been hell, man. I mean, it's really awful. like everybody in the band is just pretty miserable.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, and I feel bad. You know, there's a lot of people out there that, you know, I know a couple of guys that are in bands, and they had, you know, they were starting to catch some momentum. And it's like, you know, you start to catch momentum, and then it's just literally, it's no better term than the rug was pulled out right underneath your feet.
Yeah.
And it's like we don't know what to do now.
Yeah, and like there's, you know, bigger established, you know, headlining acts that have been, you know, doing it big for years. You know, after this all said and done, those bands will be fine. They'll go right back
they're still okay.
They were. But it's these bands like Spanish Love Songs, for instance, that had just put out an album that was like charting, you know, like hitting some Billboard charts, and like just put it out, and it was out for like 1 month before COVID hit, and like they had all these huge tours lined up and all these opening slots, and it was just like they just put a record out on Pure Noise. You know, they went from like a small indie like AF Records to freaking Pure Noise, and then boom, a month after the album comes out, here's your momentum, stop that. You know, it just like a big brick wall, right? I mean, like it's those bands that I really feel it for, you know, like your quote unquote DIY touring bands, you know, I mean, they'll be able to get out there and do this again, but like they'll be no further off than they were before. You know what I mean? Like for instance, us, when we get out and start touring again, we'll pretty much be about the same level we were before all this started. Still out there trying to literally make a name, you know, to actually become a band that people legitimately start to care about, which takes, if you're any good, probably takes about 4 to 5 years. And we'll be right there.
It's a long time. Yeah, you got to build that momentum, and that's like you do. I feel so bad for. They're like, wow, we're going, we're doing it, and then all of a sudden it's like, but boom, sorry, nope, wasn't
like
your time.
Those guys had literally just quit their jobs. Like they had just pretty much just been like, wow, we're going to be able to make a living at this. Look, guys, we did it. And then boom, a month later, psych, I mean, I felt real bad for that band for sure. And there's so many out there that are like in that same position, and it's those that are just I feel just super sorry for. Like that's the most unfortunate thing.
Yeah, and my hopes in that, and struggling and having that, is to hopefully they don't get discouraged and they just don't be like, all right, well, I guess it wasn't meant to be, so we're done. I've seen it happen with bands who, they come out, one album and an EP and like they're amazing and shit didn't happen and they just give up. And, there's bands out there, amazing bands, that guy never played music again. Like where I'm like, what the fuck? Like what happened so bad that, you put out a masterpiece and then you never heard from again?
It happens all the time.
It's a shame. And that's why, I'm trying to cultivate this and keep this stuff going for bands that need a little push and that people should know about, and that so people don't give up on something that they love. And it's extremely important that if it means so much to you to be able to write a song, because it takes talent and it takes a special person to write a good song, don't give up.
Oh,
just keep
we're not giving up. I'll tell you that right now. In fact, when this stuff all ends, man, we're gonna go at it pretty hard with a great album. The album that we're putting out, it's gonna be great for sure. It's definitely gonna happen. We're not gonna get discouraged. We will pick right back up right where we left off.
Do you find it like easier, nowadays? I mean, than 15 years ago when you're, putting out songs? Do you find it easier and at the same time harder being able to put out so much stuff, and like being the Spotify's that there is so much stuff out there? Do you ever feel like, I hope we don't get lost in the mix, or I hope we stand out somewhere? And how do you make yourself try to stand out?
Yeah, that's a good question. Man, I don't know. Like I wouldn't necessarily say it's easier or more difficult. It's just over the past, I'd say the past 5 years or so, it's completely changed again. What it takes to actually make it in the music business. Like it changed, when social media became a thing, and like back in when MySpace was huge, like bands started figuring out how to use that tool and got big that way. Like bands like Whitechapel got big that way from MySpace, and then when that era ended, it kind of stayed in the same little methods for a little while. But then like within the past like 5 or 6 years, it's completely changed again to where like all your focus is more on like putting out quality content, and like trying to keep people engaged with what you're doing, not necessarily caring so much about your actual music, but like being able to get people to just like pay attention. It's like an entirely different focus.
Figuring out the algorithm for Spotify to play, like
you got to be a freaking scientist.
Who can do that? Yeah. There's an algorithm. Your song needs to be 2 minutes and 41 seconds to fall. Like it's so, and I feel so bad because there's people try to figure that out and could cut out like content of a song that could completely change the song and actually change the direction of your band, right. Because they're trying to fit into that algorithm to get noticed.
Yeah, that is real. I actually know some people who really, really try real hard to do that. But I mean, at the end of the day, like with us personally, we're going to write whatever the hell we want to write. Like if our song's 4.5 minutes long, if it kicks ass that way and it rocks and it's perfect, then we're not going to dumb it down just so we get picked up by the fucking algorithm. Like I know a lot of people that try that, and we're just like, you know what, man, screw that. Like you want it to, you want to get picked up by those things. You want to land on an editorial playlist and whatever, that can make or break it. That could change a band's career like immediately, but it's like, we're not going to just like bend over and just like fucking change what we are, period, just to land on one of those things. That's crazy, like we write music that we want to hear, you know, we just hope other people like it too. So like, we're not going to keep all of our songs under 2 minutes just so we land on, you know, the super bands and pop punk playlist, you know, like we're just going to do whatever the hell we want to do pretty much.
Yeah, that's some 12-year-old fucking put together anyway,
Right.
that they liked. And, it's so subjective to people, and every song means something different to somebody else. And, one song that I may like, and my buddy's band came out with an album, and I was like, yeah, I don't like that song, man. Like, I'm not afraid to tell somebody. And then somebody comes up to me and is like, dude, I love this song. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, okay, well, I have different ears, I guess.
Yeah.
But, it's for whoever's going to like it, which is, that's why you write music, because you liked doing it and you liked the song, and that's why you wrote it.
Yeah. If we were out there like chasing, the current trend, or like what exactly it is people want to listen to right now, I mean, if we were trying to do that, I don't think we wouldn't succeed, because we'd be out of touch in 5 minutes, trying to chase whatever's new. It changes so much. So we're just, our goal is just to, put out songs that are in the realm of where we come from as musicians, but like also trying to keep it a little exciting and fresh, and put our own little spin on punk and pop punk and whatever. And
being true to yourself as a band.
Yeah. I mean, now if we were a different kind of band and we weren't, I mean, the whole reason we're playing this stuff is because it's fun. It's supposed to be fun, and we're just glad that some people have decided to, care about the fun that we're having. But like, if, I mean, we're pretty much, we just write what we want, and like hope that in this modern time of music, which, I mean, music's dead right now anyway, so like, who knows what's going to happen in the next year, like how things are going to change for the music industry again. So yeah, I mean, it's
something bigger, better is going to come out, and someone's going to think something is better to put their music out on. It's hard for me to keep up. I'm still a guy who, I need the physical touch of music. I still need a record or a CD, and I just need that physical touch, just because for me, I get to own it, and I get to own it and feel it and know that I have it and enjoy it. Sometimes when I download shit, all of a sudden I just lose it. I'm like, oh, I forgot I fucking had that, because it goes somewhere into my algorithm when I hit, shuffle. Like it just, and then I never hear something until like the 900th song, and I'm like, oh shit, I forgot about these guys. And it's because I never owned something physical.
Yeah.
So who are you mentioned Offspring, Rancid, Green Day, but who are some of your I'm sorry, I throw up in my mouth a little bit when I say Offspring, and it's totally cool that you like them. My wife even, it's something about it, I just never fucking understood it, so I apologize for that.
I don't drive around and listen to them anymore, but I can still throw on.
No, I get it. I just, if Noodles ever tunes into this, I feel bad, but I mean, I don't care. I never liked it. But who else? What other kind of influences do you use or inspires you and the band to come up with new songs and kind of listen to get yourself psyched to go back into a studio?
I mean, I've gotten really on a huge like shoegaze kick lately, and I've been listening to a lot of heavier music too. Like I've always been a fan of of Deftones, and I've just really been insanely into them lately. And then they put a new album out, which is fantastic. And like, I've been listening to a lot of stuff like that. And that 90s band Hum, they just put out a new album this year.
I got it. I got it the day it came out, man. They are an unsung band, like unsung heroes of music.
Yeah. They've influenced so much out there. I mean, like even Deftones consider them as like one of their main influences, and like, so I've been listening to a lot of that kind of stuff, and like, it definitely a lot of like spacey guitar effects and ambient sounding stuff too, and that has 100% made its way onto the new album. Like it definitely it definitely made a shift in the sound. It's a little bit more. It's less punk rock and more rock, and definitely definitely a lot of like more atmospheric stuff, like in bridges of the songs and all that, and it's heavier all around, pretty much. So that's definitely listening to that kind of stuff, and I've pretty much been on a kick of that kind of stuff like the past year or two, like big time, more than usual, and it definitely influenced the direction of the new record for sure.
Wow. You're getting me excited over here to hear the new record that I can't hear for a while. So awesome. Great. Now I get that slow burn of a wait for it to come out to
Well,
hear.
you'll have the covers EP before that, and that will give you your nostalgia while you wait.
Okay. Awesome. So do you have anything that you would be embarrassed if somebody found out you listened to it or liked it? Like a guilty pleasure? Like something that the millions of people that'll hear this that you would be ashamed of them knowing, but you got to say it anyway?
Well, okay, so on Facebook, I'm in a group with a bunch of just random buddies that are other musicians, and it's called New Metal November. And so we're just on there talking about all this new metal stuff from like the late 90s and 2000s, like, you know, because that stuff was so big and such trash at the same time, and like hated on it so much when it was going on. But then like you go back and revisit some of it, and you're like, wow, this actually really does make me want to break shit, you know? And like, so like, me and one of my buddies in that group were like, you know, let's pick an album a week, you know, kind of thing. So I was driving from work. I had to go do something for work in Nashville the other day. On the way home, I literally purposefully stopped and picked up a Monster Energy drink, and I cracked that open and turned on Limp Bizkit's Significant Other, and I listened to that whole fucking album, and I blasted it at the top of speakers, and I'll be honest, man, I had a blast.
That's awesome. So it's so infectious right now because you're like, holy shit, I can't believe you asked me this, and this is exactly what I did. Yeah, and you're 100%. Owning it. It's awesome.
So that's fucking great. I should feel guilty for that, but fuck that. Shit was fun.
It was a crazy time back then with that music. I mean, it was like it was everywhere, and you didn't know what to do with it, and you're just like, all right, cool, and then it's just like, wait, what am I doing?
Yeah, you're like, wait, this is actually kind of lame, and then you started to scoff at it, you know, and like talk down on it and make fun of people that still listen to it, but deep down in the back of your mind, you know that shit made your head bang up and down when you first heard it, and
you're like, fuck yeah, no, that first Korn album's fucking cool. Like,
yeah, it was. It was really, really cool, and nothing sounded like that at all when that came out. No. You know, I mean, like there was some stuff that kind of led up to that, but nothing like that first Korn album. But for so long, I would listen to that. You know, I would hear it, and I'd be like so turned off and just grossed out by it. And I got super pretentious and like so into punk rock, and like I won't listen to this radio garbage crap, you know. And then I got older and realized what a dumbass I was being and how much fun that shit was.
That's like it's true. You bring up a good point. Because it was kind of fun. Yeah, it was fun. You know, you do. I get that pretentious. I mean, I'm doing it with Offspring on this episode. Where I'm just like, yeah, it's something that just, I don't know. Everybody's got something different in that, you know, it hits people differently, but that new metal, like people still listen to that shit and blast it. Like,
people still party to that stuff. Like in like their like backyards with like a keg, you know?
Yeah. It's like, you know, they turn the headlights on their pickup truck and throw a bonfire and couldn't wait for the new Korn album to come out last year.
Yeah.
Like, dude, coming. And it's like, and I'm like, what? Seriously? Like, yeah, no, it's gonna be awesome. I'm like, okay, man, cool.
Yep, it's a thing.
So, great guilty pleasure, man. Great guilty pleasure story too.
Yep. Every bit of that's true.
So do you have like a favorite band that you constantly go back to that, it's you don't have to have one per se, because I have hundreds, but like like a favorite band that you constantly are always going back to, that it's like, yeah, I still love them. And even when they put out stuff when you don't like it and you put it away for a little while and you go back and you're like, oh, okay, I see where they are in their life. But do you have a
Yeah.
favorite band like
Yeah, man, Strung Out, dude. That band.
that?
Since the first song I heard by them was like, I think it was "Support Your Troops" on the Punk Sucks compilation back in the day, and then I heard I think it was "Rotten Apple" on the Survival of the Fattest compilation, and man, I immediately went out and bought Suburban Teenage Wasteland Blues, and every album they have put out ever since that, and that was like what, 96. Like every album that's come out that they put out, I love it. I buy it. Even the acoustic album was awesome. Like that band is just phenomenal. Like everything in their catalog is great. There's none of their albums, in my opinion, have any duds. You know what I mean?
No, I 100% agree with you. I mean, they were, when I was growing up in the record store, and a kid that worked at the record store, when Another Day in Paradise came out, he's like, dude, you got to check these guys out. And I was like, all right. I put it in my car on my way home, and I was just like, holy fuck. I thought I knew what punk rock was. I didn't know it could be so hard and aggressive and melodic and good at the same time. Like I was like, it changed the way I thought about it. I mean, another band that did that for me was Face to Face, who's one of my favorite bands that
hands down one of my top 10.
Yeah, my famous story of Face to Face that I always tell is, I was when I was in the military, I was living in Georgia, and their self-titled album came out, and I was so excited to get it. I run to, it was either the mall or Best Buy or something. I run to get it, listen to the first 4 songs, literally took the CD out of my fucking changer, threw it out on I-95.
What?
Because it wasn't Don't Turn Away. It wasn't Big Choice. It was different. And I wasn't prepared for it to be different. And now when I go back and I listen to that album, I'm first person to admit it. I'm like, I was a fucking asshole. I can't believe I threw that out. Like, I can't believe I threw it out on the highway. Yeah, it was like they were on the Mortal Kombat soundtrack. Like they were, I grew up with, Don't Turn Away. Like when that album came out, like I still have my original copy on Doctor Strange. Like I still have, like that was my anthem of my fucking high school years, was Face to Face, Don't Turn Away. And like I was turning people onto it and being like, wow, this guy doesn't like fucking punk rock. And he's like, dude, this is fucking amazing. I'm like, right? And, it was one of those things where I was just like, that was the album of, like, I'll always go back to that. That was it, man. They were fucking just amazing. But Trevor Keith just has that undeniable voice, which you just,
it's unmistakable who you're hearing. If you've never heard, like if they put something new out and it popped up randomly, and I'm like, oh, that's Face to Face, I can tell immediately that guy's voice is so unique.
Yeah, like I felt bad for him when he put out his solo album, and I went to see him, and there's guys in the front row screaming Face to Face songs. I'm like, all right, dude, like he's not fucking doing that. Like he just came out with an amazing album. Let him fucking play that, because it's still Trevor Keith, and you like Face to Face because of Trevor Keith.
Right.
So give him that opportunity to fucking Alcoholics Anonymous is fucking amazing as a solo.
I don't think I've actually listened to that. I'll have to check that out.
Oh, dude, it's fucking righteous. He came as soon as he put it out, he came on tour, and I was right there. I was like, yes, I'm going to see this.
So since you threw self-titled out the window, since you hated that album so much when you first heard it, what the fuck did you think when you first heard Ignorance is Bliss?
So
I just about threw that one out my window. And now I love it. Now I love it.
Yeah, so when Ignorance is Bliss came out, it was kind of the same reaction. I'm like, I didn't know what was happening. Like I was like,
Right.
and I guess I wasn't mature enough to know that things change and things, people change and their song styles change. And what actually kept me engaged with Ignorance is Bliss is Practices and Standards, the covers
Oh,
album.
yeah, that came out like right after it, didn't it?
Right after it.
Like
So when I got
I
Ignorance is
had that.
Bliss, and I was like, oh man, I was like, I don't know. But I guess kind of what you're doing with releasing something, which is going to be a covers album, they released a covers album, and I heard them doing other people's songs, and it made me go back to Ignorance is Bliss and understand it more.
Yeah.
Because they were doing, like Nick Drake songs. They were doing, Cheap Trick songs. They were like, it made me go back to and be like, oh, I get it now. Now I get it,
Yeah.
and I could appreciate it. And then, of course, after that, what's Reactionary comes out, which goes back to being fucking punk rock as hell. And I'm like,
Yeah,
all right, I guess I just
that
gotta.
out like that was like a year after Ignorance is Bliss came out. Like they put that album out real fast because their fan base did not appreciate Ignorance is Bliss whatsoever, myself included at that time. Yeah, so they put out Reactionary immediately, and that
Oh
album
yeah,
rips.
and it totally does. But it was like when that came out, I was like, all right, I just need to fucking strap in because I don't know what I'm going to get next, but I'm just going to appreciate it because that's what it was like. It was like you're going from Don't Turn Away and Big Choice to self-titled when you're doing an electronica version on the Mortal Kombat soundtrack of your song. Whatever, good for you, awesome. You got a payday. That's great. I like that when that happens to bands that I love. And then you go to Ignorance is Bliss, and I was just like, uh-oh, is this what we're doing? And then I got Practice Standards. It brought me back in to appreciate that. And then Reactionary came out, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? Why can't I keep up? Like, what are they
Right.
doing? But I still own every single one. I still listen to them all the time because they're just that good that you just can't deny them.
Oh yeah, and their last couple of albums that they put out, Protection and what was it, Laugh Now, Laugh Later, or whatever, the
Yeah,
comeback albums, like those albums are
yeah.
great.
And then and what was it? 3 Chords and a Half
Oh
Truth.
yeah, I have that one on vinyl. That one's pretty good. That one's not my favorite, but it's kind of got
Yeah,
like
it's
a
not my
Clash
favorite, but
vibe to it.
yeah, but Protection was fucking awesome. Like the day it
Oh
came
yeah,
out, like I got it and I was like, oh yeah, this is what I've been waiting for.
yeah. I
The
pre-ordered that
grown
one.
up version. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
fucking awesome.
I think that's the best album that they've put out, in my opinion, since the self-titled album. Personally, I think that album is just like that is prime face to face.
Yeah. It's hard hitting. It is who they are, and that was fucking awesome.
Yeah,
Well, we
super
could probably stay here
consistent too.
forever and talk about fucking face to face.
No doubt.
So, we're gonna come in on some time. I don't want to keep you very long. The way I end this all the time is we have our weekly threes. It's 3 things that you're listening to right now that you'd like people to either check out. It could be old, it could be new. Hopefully, it's not The Offspring, but it could be old, it could be new. Something you're listening to that you want people to check out, and we get out there for people to see on our little collage we do every week of the threes.
All right. Well, let me think here. So, I'm still crushing on the new Deftones album. It's fantastic. It's called Ohms. That album's great. Uh,
Yep.
I would recommend even someone that's not really ever been a fan of that band to listen to that because it's just good. And then
That's another band they did that covers album that fucking
oh
just
yeah,
killed.
yeah, I think they covered the Cars. Like they
Yeah.
covered Sleepwalk. That just old guitar song. Like, and it sounds
Yep.
so eerie. Their version of it's so eerie. But yeah, so there's that, and then I mean, gosh, everyone should hear that new Hum album. Like, that's in my opinion the album of the year and the biggest surprise of the year, and probably the only awesome thing of the year was the fact that Hum put out an album after 13 or however many years of nothing. Actually, it was more than that. It was like 20 years or so.
Yeah, I think it was like 22 years.
Yeah,
But yeah,
22
you
years.
said it, the biggest surprise. It's the biggest. I didn't even know it was coming out till it came out.
Nobody did.
Like
They
I
just put it
heard,
out. It came out
Yeah.
on their
And
Bandcamp before anything.
yeah, fucking
It was
crazy.
just like, here you go, surprise. This year sucks. Here's some new hum. Been 22 years. Yeah, so definitely that. And then let's see, a third thing. I just discovered this band like a couple days ago. And it blew me away. But then again, I'm also on a huge Deftones kick. So like this band's called Loathe, like Loathe, Loathe, and it's super heavy and it's like metalcore Deftones. I don't know. I just discovered this band. They've got like 2 or 3 albums out, and it blew me away instantly. Like some of the riffs are just maniacal, and it's great. It's great. I mean, I might not. It's probably something I'll get burnt out on pretty quick, but because I've listened to it so much in the past week. But at this very moment,
sometimes you just need heavy. Sometimes you just need heavy.
Oh yeah. So that's definitely what I've really been on, a heavier music kick, especially the past year. And so that's definitely like what I would recommend for 3 things right at this moment. I mean, I could recommend all kinds of random punk rock bands, but
Yeah.
those are, everybody knows those. I mean, so yeah.
Awesome. So the great 3. My 3 for this week are Mineral, old emo band
Love
from
Mineral.
Austin, Texas, and Serenading. I mean, it's Minerals also spawned some great other bands, Gloria Record, Pop Unknown, Zookeeper. I mean, it's just Mineral is up with me this week. Next is The Draft. Anybody knows hot water music
without Chuck.
It is hot water music without fucking Chuck. It's amazing. I mean, I love Woolard and I love, his stuff with Ship Thieves, but The Draft, the fucking first album is just
In a Million Pieces. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
That album.
It's sick.
It's so good. So good. Start to finish, that album is great. It's like, there's always a couple duds on every hot water music album, but on that Draft album, there's not a dud.
Yeah, there's not one. It's so
not
good.
One.
And then last but not least is my chill time this week has been Lucero. I've been listening to, country punk rock band Lucero.
Love them.
Just awesome fucking chill, but music that'll still drive you when you need it. So that's my 3 for the week.
What's your favorite
Jake,
favorite Lucero album? What is it?
Oh my God. Well, they have fucking 14 of them. It's really hard for you to make me choose.
You gotta pick one.
Jeez. You're putting me on the spot here. Fucking picking one. Because I have like 4 go-tos all the time.
Oh yeah.
So I'd probably go with, and it's newer, but I loved it. All a Man Should Do. I think is, I just think that it didn't get what it should have. And I don't know. That's my favorite one now, I guess, because I've been listening to it so much.
It's a good
Nobody's Darling is fucking sick as shit too. That's great. when I first fucking got into Lucero, and that was because I saw them at a free concert in the middle of Washington Square Park for Snapple, a show put on by Snapple, Ice-T. And I was like, who are these guys? And I Nobody's Darling, that was what they were touring on. And I was like, okay.
Yep, I saw them. That's the first time I saw them, was in that era. And my favorite is hands down That Much Further West. That album just breaks my heart every time I listen to it. That's the one for me.
Yeah, that's like my 3 or 4. Like it's one of those albums that it's hard for me to listen to because there's too much emotion involved in it. And I say hard for me to listen to, because I don't want to get emotional. And so it's hard for me to listen to it. But when I need some, that's what I'll go to.
Yeah, that one definitely got me through some trying times back in the day. I definitely got sad listening to Lucero that much further west. That's for sure.
Yeah. All right. So, Jake, now's your time. Let's get some information for people to find Rough Dreams and everything you guys are doing. And, broke some news here, which is awesome, but some stuff coming out. So tell everybody how to find you.
We're on all your social media sites. We're on everything's on Spotify, Apple Music, every streaming platform you can think of. We're on all of them. Bandcamp. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel. We try to put out random content every now and then. We just did a few rig rundowns of each of our rigs that we used in the studio and whatnot. We made those ourselves and we put stuff like that on our YouTube channel along with music videos and whatnot. So that, and you name it. You can follow us on Instagram. We can get pretty ridiculous in our little stories there sometimes. Twitter, it's all the crappy social media things like Twitter and Facebook. We're there. I hate both of those, by the way.
So do I. But
yeah, Twitter is the worst.
Yeah,
the worst. But yeah, we're on everything, everywhere. So
awesome. So, Jake, thank you so much for coming on. Everybody out there, Rough Dreams, check them out. If you need to know how to find them, I'll get them to you. I'll send you songs and get these guys going. And can't wait for the new shit to come out. Can't wait for you guys to get on tour so I can come see you live. And as I end this, as always, everybody go out and have a great time.